Do you love classic video games but feel like you just don't have the time to play them anymore? I get it. As we get older, life happens. We have jobs, relationships, responsibilities, maybe even a fluffy orange cat that needs to be walked. That shelf of games starts to look less like a library of fun and more like a pile of shame. So we need to find smarter ways to play. This video is all about the games, the devices, and most importantly, the mind shifts that you can use to enjoy retro video games in the limited time that you have. Let's embrace a little modern technology. High quality emulators like those on the Nintendo Switch Online service, emulators on your PC or Mac, even on your Android phone, handheld emulation devices, a RetroPie, and even FPGA systems. All of those are great ways of playing retro games, and they have the single most important feature that can save precious time when you have none: save states. Remember back in the day, if you wanted to stop playing a game without a save feature, you either had to start all over next time, or you had to do the unthinkable and leave your console running overnight, praying that there wasn't a power outage or mom wouldn't turn it off. No more dealing with cumbersome passwords. Save states completely eliminates this problem. And this can even apply to classic hardware with solutions like Everdrives or other FPGA flashcards. If you're not familiar, an Everdrive is an FPGA cartridge that you can use to load a ROM files of games that you want to play on original hardware. The Everdrives for the Game Boy, the NES, and the Master System all have a way to trigger save states, usually with a button combo or a menu. This feature allows you to create a save at any time, letting you pick up exactly where you left off. That brings us to the beautiful and controversial time-saving technique of save scumming. And let's be honest, it's not cheating, it's an accommodation for a busy modern life. You're not out to break a record, you're just out to have a good time and enjoy a classic game. Think about that one impossible jump in Mega Man 2 in the Quick Man stage. Instead of losing all your lives and getting a game over, you can just make a save state right before the jump. You miss? Reload. Try again. You can practice that one tricky part without the frustrating punishment of replaying the entire level. It respects your time. And this goes beyond just practicing tricky spots. Think of a game like Castlevania or Ninja Gaiden. Back in the day, you've had to fight your way through tough as nails level just to get to the boss with a sliver of health and then die. The punishment, you're sent all the way back to the beginning of the stage. But with save states, you can create a checkpoint for yourself right outside the boss's door. You're not erasing the challenge, you're just erasing the tedious, time-wasting repetition that our busy adult lives just don't have room for anymore. Next, let's look at games that were basically designed for our busy lives, even back in the day. I'm talking about the golden age of portable gaming in the 90s. Specifically, think about remakes of Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for the Game Boy, Dragon Quest for you Japanese folks. A feature that doesn't get talked about nearly enough is the ability to create a field log and save at a particular time, even when you're not in a town or castle. I started treating RPGs like Dragon Warrior on the Game Boy Color a bit like a paperback book. I can pick it up and put it down when I want. And this feature can transform a huge adventure into something that you can chip away at. You can grind a few battles on your lunch break, save your progress, and then put it away. The same goes for the Legend of Zelda games on the Game Boy, like Link's Awakening DX. The world is broken up into individual screens, and the dungeons are a series of small interconnected rooms. Complete just one room, solving a block puzzle, finding a key feels meaningful. It is a small, bite-sized piece of progress. And then you can save and feel like you accomplished something, even in just 10 minutes of play. This design philosophy extends to platformers too. Think about Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. Unlike the sprawling linear levels of its console cousins, this game has a world map with a lot of shorter, self-contained stages. You can hop in, clear a level in 5 minutes, and feel that sense of accomplishment before getting back to your day. And don't forget about puzzle games. A game like Dr. Mario or Tetris on the Game Boy is the absolute king of respecting your time. The goal is simple, and the gameplay is addictive, and a single round takes only a few minutes. It is the perfect way to kill that awkward 5 to 10 minutes in the DMV. Finally, let's talk about the original quick play session of the 1980s, arcade games. Ironically, these games are incredibly respectful of your time because they were deliberately designed for you to not play them for very long. They were a business proposition designed to be a quarter muncher. You know, my love life is like playing the original Donkey Kong. There are no extra lives, and it is usually over in about 5 minutes. Ba-dum-bum. In the original Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong 3, there are no extra lives, so unless you're a master like Steve Wiebe, you're not going to last very long. A typical game of Donkey Kong is maybe 5 minutes, and maybe if you're really good, you can stretch that to 10 minutes. They say arcade games were designed to be instant gratification, but that's the beauty of it. You chase the high score, and then you move on. You know, think about shoot 'em ups or shmups like Galaga, R-Type, or Gradius. These games are pure action, testing your reflexes and pattern recognition skills. A single credit gives you an intense, complete experience. And the same is true for beat 'em ups like Final Fight or Turtles in Time. You might not have the 45 minutes to an hour to play through the whole game, but you can definitely have 5 minutes to clear the first stage and feel like a total badass. And if it's in an emulator, you can do a save state and pick up the next level on a different day. And that brings me to a genre that perfectly embodies the arcade philosophy that deserves its own section, the fighting game. These games are the ultimate time respecters. You put in a quarter, school some fools, and have a good time. And it doesn't matter what your particular flavor of choice is. Maybe it's the global phenomenon Street Fighter II, the gritty digitized style of Mortal Kombat, the combo-heavy flashes of Killer Instinct, or the Sega weirdness of Eternal Champions. Or heck, maybe you're a connoisseur with a taste of the deep-cut imports like Asuka 120 Burning Fest. The core principle is exactly the same. You can jump in for 10 minutes, play 3 or 4 matches, get a complete, fulfilling gameplay experience of kicking some dudes in the head. It is a perfect fit for your busy schedule. So, if we're going to talk about arcade games at home, we have to talk about the king, the Neo Geo. SNK's approach was radical. They brought interchangeable cartridges to the arcade, letting owners easily swap games in their multi-game cabinets. Then they did something wild. They brought the exact same games home. The home console, the AES, used massive cartridges. It was literally arcade perfect. The catch? It was playing on incredibly expensive hardware. Back in the day, no one could afford a Neo Geo except people with real jobs or some gosh darn lucky rich kids. The dream of having a flawless version of Metal Slug X right in your living room was just that, a dream. But nowadays, you can emulate Neo Geo games on just about anything or play the entire library via FPGA. And that entire library is 100% arcade focused. It is quite literally meant for you to put in a quarter, play for a couple minutes, and leave. You can get that perfect 10-minute fighting game session, whether it's the weapon clashing tension of Samurai Showdown 2 or the team-based chaos of King of the Fighters 98. You can chase a high score in a visually stunning shooter like Blazing Star, or get a quick addictive puzzle fix with perhaps a few rounds of Magical Drop 3. Each one is a complete experience. SNK even had those memory cards that you were supposed to bring to the arcade to save your progress, but almost no one had one. Today, a simple save state does the same job of letting you pick up right where you left off. The entire Neo Geo library, with the exception of Samurai Showdown RPG, which is just only released in Japan but was recently fan translated, is at your fingertips. From the pinnacle of 2D animation and Garou Mark of Wolves to the pure run and gun action of Metal Slug, the Neo Geo might just be exactly what your busy schedule needs. From the ultimate home arcade experience, let's swing back to what might be the ultimate portable experience for the busy gamer, the Nintendo DS. This thing was literally designed to be filled up with games, put in your pocket, and then cracked open to be whenever you had a spare moment. The simple ability to just close the lid and put it to sleep was revolutionary. You could be in the middle of a battle, close it, go about your day, and then open it up hours later and get right back to gaming. And the library was phenomenal. The DS became home for the second golden age of 16-bit and 32-bit RPGs. Everyone had one, especially in Japan, where the success of the DS was just off the charts. But what makes it so perfect for us today are the modern conveniences. You can get a USB cable and charge it anywhere. And for its library, you either get the original games or use an R4 and all of its various clones that open up the entire library. Almost unlimited library of Nintendo DS games, letting you carry around hundreds of titles on one tiny card. The DS family of systems understood that you might only have 10 minutes, and it was built from the ground up to make those minutes count. So what's the common thread here? It's about changing our relationships with these games. The goal isn't necessarily to see the credits of every single game on our shelves anymore. The goal is to find moments of joy and nostalgia and fit that into our busy lives. It's about using modern tools like save states to cut out the frustration. It's about seeking out games that were designed for short bursts of play. Whether it's chipping at a portable adventure, chasing an arcade high score, or carrying hundreds of those classics in your pocket with a Nintendo DS. That pick-up-and-play design that made these games so accessible in the 1980s and 90s is exactly what makes them perfect for us today. So what's your go-to lunch break retro game? The one game that you play when you only have 10 minutes to spare? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to get some new ideas. If you like this video, please give it a like, and you should subscribe because I make awesome videos like this each week. Thanks for watching. This is 8-Bit Joystick. Stay awesome. Play retro.